What's up guys, Mickle here, and we are currently witnessing some of the worst FUD we have seen in the XRP community for a very long time now, and I am all here for it. People are selling their XRP who have held for 5 to 6 years, projects are leaving the XRP ledger, people are moving to other coins that are already up thousands of % on the year to try to make gains because they're convinced XRP is never going to move, and what this tells me is XRP has never been closer to its big moment. Guys, in this video, I want to take on some of the newest FUD out there, and that is that ODL does absolutely nothing for the price of XRP. Guys, I want to give my perspective on this and let you guys know why I think a lot of people are really overthinking how ODL will impact the long-term price of XRP. Make sure to stick around for this whole video. You are not going to want to miss it. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who likes the videos and is subscribed to the channel. These things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So I want to start off and just quickly address something that happened the other day, and that was this settlement negotiation between Ripple and the SEC. What we saw is Brad Garlinghouse and Stuart Alderati were in fact in New York meeting at the court in which the lawsuit is essentially under right now, and what we know is that it was in fact a scheduled settlement negotiation between the judge, Ripple, and the SEC. Now, unfortunately, after the settlement negotiation, Stuart Alderati tweeted this out: 7 years after the Dow report, which the SEC claims provided clarity to the crypto market, the SEC is still litigating 8 major crypto cases in federal courts with no end in sight. Something's broken. Now, guys, without reading too much in between the lines, if Stuart Alderati is coming out and saying with no end in sight, that tells me the settlement negotiations did not go very well in the slightest. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be very disappointed by this, but for me, it really doesn't matter. And why is that the case? It's because Ripple is going to win regardless of what happens. Yes, a settlement would get this case over quickly. Yes, a settlement would be very good for Ripple, but it's not like Ripple is in a position where they need to settle. Ripple has kicked the SEC's butt throughout this entire case. XRP is not a security that can't be appealed, and it's looking like right now the SEC is going to get closer to $0 than the $2 billion they're asking for from the judge. So guys, we're just going to have to see what plays out. Just judging by this tweet from Stuart Alderati, I would say the settlement negotiations are not going well. I just wanted to bring it to your attention because I know a lot of people were talking about that meeting the other day, and I think this sheds some really good light on exactly where the talks stand right now. It looks like right now the SEC wants to take it the distance. I don't think that's good for the SEC. I tweeted out the other day as a joke also, I said Ripple should have hired Citizen Hidman for the settlement talks. This definitely got a lot of traction, and you know, it kind of does make me ask the question, right? Would Ripple have been better off just buying some former SEC lawyers, getting a bribe with the SEC going, essentially forcing the SEC to settle on good terms? It seems like the only language the SEC really speaks is corruption. Obviously, I'm kind of joking with that. I don't want Ripple to be a corrupt company and to be paying SEC officials like Ethereum did, but so far, that's the only strategy that's really worked. So while I was kidding in this tweet, it is kind of funny, right? The only thing that seems to work with the SEC is corruption. And if you're a legitimate company trying to do things the right way and just beating the SEC fair square in court, well, they don't seem to like that much. Now, guys, I want to move on and get into the main topic of the video, and that is whether or not ODL will increase the price of XRP over the long term. From my experience, this is FUD that kind of gets recycled in the XRP community, along with Ripple dumping XRP and all the usual points, right, that get disproven time after time after time and then come back up and then get disproven time after time after time. The ODL will not increase the price of XRP thing seems to always come up with it. Now, I will say, right, Crypto Ari is someone who I very much respect in the community, and nothing she says in this tweet is wrong in the slightest. She is spot on in what she's saying here, but I think we need to add some nuance to what I believe is a more realistic take. In Ripple's well submission for the SEC, they talk about how ODL transactions are demand neutral and therefore do not increase the price or impact the price of XRP. Now, she says that this right here proves that XRP as a bridge currency won't do anything for the price of XRP. Now, I think she generally is right. In a single ODL transaction, there's a buy and a sell, and that's net neutral for XRP. XRP's price isn't going to go up if it's being bought and then sold instantaneously later. But I think there's a little more to it than just analyzing it on that level. And what I mean by that is ultimately the most important thing for any cryptocurrency is to gain adoption. Cryptocurrencies are speculation vehicles. Big institutions, big investors, countries, banks, large money transmitters are all going to be buying these things, right, for their utility, but also to invest into the ecosystems. The more adoption XRP can get from these large institutions, the more it's going to be relevant in the next couple of years. The more big institutions that are going to want to invest into it, the more big institutions that are going to want to create financial products around it. So while the actual ODL transaction might not actually increase the price of XRP directly, that doesn't necessarily mean that ODL isn't playing a massive part in showing the big institutions all over the world that XRP has real-world staying power and real-world utility. I tweeted out in response to this, ODL itself is demand neutral, but it cements deep utility for XRP among real-world institutions that helps it maintain relevance in the real world. The more institutions, companies, and governments that are using XRP, the more investors, holders, and builders we will have. Guys, Ripple with ODL, right, is driving big institutions that hold most of the world's assets to use a digital currency for its utility, right? It's not just people buying in, right, hoping that it will go up in price. It's institutions buying into XRP to invest in an asset that's being used as a financial product in our financial system. I don't think, right, ODL has to directly increase the price of XRP through transactions to increase the price of XRP over the long run. I think the more and more institutions that see Ripple building out a real use case for XRP, the more and more institutions that see XRP being used in real world transactions, the more institutions that are going to say, look, we want to invest into this thing. We want to buy it to speculate on it being more and more useful in our future financial system. And I just think this is a point that's kind of being overlooked. So many people, I believe, are hyper-focusing on whether or not the specific transaction is going to be net positive or net negative for the price of XRP. But in the same way as the Bitcoin Lightning Network gaining mass success for Bitcoin being used as a money transmitting vehicle being good for the price of Bitcoin over the long run because more people are going to be paying attention to Bitcoin as a real world settlement tool, the same way ODL is going to make bigger institutions and more serious investors pay closer attention to XRP. At the end of the day, the real thing that really drives the price of these cryptocurrencies is speculation. Speculation is king when it comes to cryptocurrencies. And the more and more relevant XRP can be in the world, the more and more relevant XRP can be to the big financial institutions, the more they are going to want to speculate on this. I have driven this idea home on my channel, right? Ripple putting XRP in front of the big institutions is the most important thing to us. Ripple putting XRP in front of the big institutions and getting them used to XRP as a real financial tool is going to make them bullish on the asset as well as the entire ecosystem. And I believe the more and more knowledge they have of XRP being a real asset, the more they are going to want to buy, invest, and hold it. Guys, I think this is just a very, very interesting topic in general. Now, I want to make this extremely clear. Crypto Eerie is 100% right. XRP in these ODL transactions being bought and sold instantaneously isn't necessarily going to do wonders for the price. But if Ripple can gain mass adoption for their ODL product as a replacement for Swift, what we are going to see is big institutions are going to be leveraging XRP as a digital asset for moving money all around the world. There is no doubt in my eyes that if all these different institutions are using XRP for its utility, it is going to drastically increase the speculation around XRP, the asset, and it's going to do monumental things for its price. Guys, right now we see cryptocurrencies going up all the time that don't have any utility in the slightest. Cryptocurrencies, right, that literally have zero purpose. XRP has a real world purpose, and I believe that real world purpose is going to make it more relevant to the big institutions out there. I think it's a very, very, very interesting conversation. I definitely think it's a hotly contested subject, but I think it's one of those things where everyone's kind of talking on different sides of exactly how Ripple's ODL product will influence XRP over the long run, and everyone's making very micro points, but not necessarily zooming out and taking a look at the macro picture as a whole. I really do believe, right, the more real world utility an asset has, the more real world adoption, the more eyeballs, the more speculation around the asset, the more that asset will go up in price as more and more people want to invest into the ecosystem. Cryptocurrencies are a tool for speculation. They're a tool for investment, and if XRP can be positioned next to the biggest money in the entire world, it's only a matter of time before that money starts flowing in to buy XRP itself. Now, the last thing I'll say where I do also a little bit disagree on the ODL side is I really do believe it's very possible that ODL is going to change significantly in the future, and ODL is going to be built out more advanced. ODL is going to have deeper liquidity pools. ODL is going to use things like the automated market maker, which is going to tie up large amounts of XRP, and XRP is going to sit in these pools, get locked up, and cause demand on the asset. So I do think there is potential for ODL itself to create demand on the price of XRP, but I just think that's kind of secondary to the more important point, where if you show financial institutions that have lots of money to invest in these different things, that XRP is a digital asset that's not going to be disappearing tomorrow because it's actually being used. XRP is a digital asset that has real world staying power for financial institutions as a liquidity tool. I believe that's going to make it much easier for them to understand why they should be buying the asset, and it's going to be easier to pitch to investors and other institutions that want to build products around it why they would want to incorporate XRP into their product set. So I know there's kind of a lot there. Guys, I just want to throw my opinion out there around the subject. There are very smart minds, right, kind of on both sides of this discussion. I don't think anyone's necessarily wrong. I think the points everyone's making on a micro scale are correct, but when you zoom out, it's hard to convince me that if Ripple actually got ODL to be a Swift-like tool for the biggest institutions in the world, you can't convince me that's not going to do anything for the price. I will remain extremely optimistic and extremely bullish as XRP as a digital world reserve currency, XRP as a bridge currency, making the price go up exponentially. Guys, maybe I'm completely wrong on that. Maybe all this was just an outrageous theory, but to me, logically, it just makes a lot of sense. And at the end of the day, when we look back at this industry 5 to 10 years from now, it's going to be the cryptocurrencies actually doing something, the cryptocurrencies actually being used by the institutions that are going to be the most successful. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.